Suma's POV. "There it is," Jake said, bent down behind a boulder, which was the only thing big enough to hide him. The rest of us simply stayed low and tried to blend in with the tall grass. We were all watching over a prison, the one holding Von Pack. It was not one built by the SU, but by the natives of the island. However, it had been captured early in the invasion, according to the memories taken from the prisoners. Finding the prison was not difficult, since Lorik had been able to discern its location from the higher-ranked slaves' memories. Jake had been able to confirm Von Pack was alive, but that was all he was able to glean before the delve was interrupted. Jake said as he spoke to the remnant of Zachariah, but what few details he did share was, well, it was clear whatever they spoke about had disheartened Jake somehow. He had been acting strangely since he awoke, and his manner was uneven, going through periods of turbulence and eerie calm. It was clear something was on his mind. One good thing had come out of the event, though. Jake's limb regrew. The moment was shocking, to say the least. Suddenly, uproarious mana swirled like a hurricane and transformed from a death magic spell into a body magic spell, faster than any of us could react. I saw the colour nearly drain from the feathers of every newmate in the room when it did. "This should be far enough," Captain Kiguales said, and gave the order for us to summon our familiars. One by one, with myself and 9 as exceptions, everyone summoned their familiars. "Captain, may loyalty take point on this. It is the most suited for infiltration and investigation," Lorik Isbala suggested. "Agreed. Have it go first down the centre, and the others will approach from the sides," the captain said. Off the familiars went, with orders to survey the area around the prison and eliminate any threats between us and the prison. This mission may be starting quietly, but we all knew there was no scenario in which we could sneak in and out of this prison, like we did in that village. Diving in and out with extreme aggression would be our only hope of success. "Remember, squad, the moment any of the enemy's familiars are killed is the moment they will know something is wrong. We need to know how many to expect and where Von Pack is being held," Second Lieutenant Datahu reminded us. "Take a moment to center yourselves, and prepare." The wait, realistically, was not long, but seconds turned into minutes, and minutes into hours, at least in the tension. My heart thumped in my chest so hard, my wingtips vibrated. I distracted myself by focusing on keeping my bismers dim, so that we would not be spotted. When that proved to not be enough, I found myself surveying the prison. It was mostly underground, with vents too small to fly through, providing what was likely not nearly enough clean, fresh air. The outside was made of stone, wood, and vines. From our hiding spot, nearly a full minute of flying time away, I could make out 3 Nume and familiars patrolling the skies. They will see us soon enough, but not until they get closer. Patrolling from the air has many advantages, but one disadvantage is that while being higher up allows one to see more, it makes seeing small details harder. Focusing our vision fixes that issue, but then we lose sight of the area around us. Most teams make up for this by patrolling with several members, but no solution is perfect. And in the Drakes, we are taught from day one how to take advantage of those imperfections. "I found him," 14 announced, breaking the silence. "He is underground on the 2nd level, to the northeast side, in a cage guarded by only one low-ranking familiar." It was subtle, but I saw that Lorik was displeased. Maybe he wanted to be the one to find Von Pack. "All right then, Sentinel," Captain Kiguales said, turning to Jake. "Eliminate the guards and patrol above the facility with death magic." "Sir, is that—" I tried to protest, but was cut off. "That's an order, Sentinel," he said. Jake looked like he wanted to say something. His manner fluctuated, but he stood up from the ground and held out his newly reformed hand towards the Nume above. I was the closest to him, and so I was the only one who heard what he said next. Weakly, like the first seconds a hatchling makes, he whispered, "I'm sorry. Rot." From our hiding spot so far away, there was no sound. It simply appeared that the 3 Nume lost control of themselves and fell from the sky, hitting the ground hard enough to make a small dust cloud on impact. Jake winced and turned away. My heart ached for him, but now was not the time to say anything. "Good work, soldier. Now, use your railgun spell and break open the walls for us to get into." Without a word, he pulled several of the metal balls from his bag, and I felt his mana extend all the way to the edge of the prison. 1, 2, 3, 4 cracks of thunder, and the entire west side of the prison caved into itself, leaving a large opening for us. "Move in," the captain ordered. All of us, except for Jake, took flight toward the prison. I looked over my shoulder just as we dived into the prison and saw Jake kneeling on the grass. When we entered the prison, everything was destroyed. Several Nume, maybe guards, maybe other prisoners, had been crushed in the falling rubble. Wings stuck out from under rocks, loose beaks covered in blood were strewn about nearby. It was a bloodbath. I made the decision to never let Jake know about what I saw here, and to speak with the others about keeping it from him too. Guided by 14, our squadron flew quickly around corners, through corridors, and past several panicking Nume, too preoccupied with fighting the rampaging familiars of their dead comrades to even notice us. That was until we came across a group of 4 Nume flying up from a tunnel leading to a lower level. All 4 banked hard into the corridor, appearing to our right. The captain and lieutenant were the first to react, each respectively casting 1 fire spell and 1 spell to control the vines along the floors. The fire spell clipped the wing of 1 Nume and sent him careening into a wall. I could not tell if he died, but he did not move again. The vines rose from the floor and lashed out with enough speed to crack the air. The vines missed, but only barely, forcing the Nume to gain altitude and break off from the other 2 remaining members of her team. It was Lorik and 9 who launched the next attacks, just as the first 2 made contact. Or, more accurately, 9 attacked, and Lorik blocked a bolt of lightning from hitting 14 and myself by raising a stone column. 9 and one of the enemy Nume began to spiral around one another, trying to outturn the other for a clean attack. 9 flared his, cutting his speed and sharply banked behind the Nume. I expected him to cast a close-range spell, but instead, 9 closed the distance and plunged his right back talon into the neck of the Nume. Blood gushed from her neck and back as 9 pulled out, letting the Nume fall, uncontrolled, beak first into the stone below. A sickening wet crack echoed out. During all of this, I knew my role. Heal. Heal and do not become their next target. Attack only if needed. That was how I'd been trained. One of the remaining Nume fired off a fire spell, hitting 14's wingtip, but not seriously injuring him. He'd managed to rotate, avoiding the worst of the spell. It was the captain who counterattacked this, by closing the distance and casting mind magic. He was nearly beak to beak with the remaining Nume before finally saying, "Fear." The Nume's eyes went wide and he fell to the ground, landing flat on his back, breaking 1 wing on impact. There was only 1 Nume left, the one who gained altitude to avoid the lieutenant's attack. Lorik took care of her by moulding the stone ceiling above her and grabbing her head with a slab of stone, then tightening until we heard a crunch. She hung there, limp, as we all flew away. 14, how much further? Datu asked. 1 more left, he said. He flew another 10 seconds straight and banked left. We followed suit, and there he was, Von Pack, restrained by anti-magic runes and moulded vines. 14's familiar, who'd found Von Pack, killed his guard, and had been watching over him all this time, reared back, tore the vines apart, and pulled Von Pack away from the runes. I cast several healing spells on him, and noticed the serious extent of his injuries. He'd lost 1 leg to the first knee, and half a wing. His wounds were already healed over, scarred, and hastily healed again, leaving massive lumps of misshapen and deformed flesh. Stopping myself from gagging, I summoned Jake. "I summon you, Sentinel!"
"Suma?"
Von Pack said, starting to wake up.
"Is that you? Is this another trick?"
"Von Pack," Jake said, upon appearing and looking around. He scooped Von Pack up and cradled him in his arms. "Sentinel, you know your role?" Lieutenant Datu asked. "Tank," he said cryptically. But he'd explained the term earlier, so we knew what he meant. "Protect the ambassador until we summon you again. Good luck," Captain Giguales said, and we left. Exiting the building was easier than entering it, mostly because everyone else was distracted with trying to also exit the building, trying to find what was attacking them from so far away. It made the perfect cover to disappear into the crowd. We flew a safe distance away from the prison before summoning Jake again, but did not wait long. Once he and Von Pack reappeared, Von Pack had passed out again, and Jake had splatters of blood on his armor, but no visible injuries.
"Are you okay, Sentinel?"
Detahu asked. Jake nodded, and I began tending to Von Pack's many injuries.